and I never see a storm like this. Is from I been born until I turn a old woman now is the first time I ever come across. While the thing from the zinc then blowing off and the top blow off and the zinc and what is underneath the zinc just burst up and just flowing down. Me and my granddaughter, both of us, we have to run. We get a little ease off of the breeze. My granny said, "Come, Mama." And we travel up, we have one son live up on the hill there. I since week, when the soldier they come, it was so wonderful to me to remove from around there and come here. And the soldiers, they are so nice, friendly family them. One of the time I said to one of the, I had one, what nice stuff when you put on my house. It was so wonderful. Everybody passed, admired my house stuff. And it was so nice. We appreciate them that. And thank God, my house stuff is wonderful. Everybody passed, admired it. And I feel big. I feel like I'm a bigger woman than what I was. And I appreciate them. And thank who sent them here. Thank God for them. I appreciate it. I appreciate them, man, very much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm your host, Michelle Stern. So, we're still on the matter of where is the relief money that Mr. Mark Golding went and set up the portal for. Where is it? And of course, we're going to go back to that press conference and play just a little part of what they said. They said we must go ask the government where for them one is. Well, before we go on though, I'm going to ask everyone to please give the video a thumbs up from now on. Go ahead, please give the video a thumbs up because you know when you come to Jamaica 411, the quality stuff you get. And this will not disappoint. All right, you've given it a thumbs up. I thank you very much. Appreciate it. So let's now get down to business. You heard the First Lady. Her name is Eunice White, or I suppose in Jamaica we say Eunice White, and she's from the Akompong community in St. Elizabeth. And soldiers went and put on her roof, and she was very happy. You see the type of roof that they put on? It appears to be tongue and groove or some kind of lumber lining, and then they put the zinc on top. And of course, the lumber is put down with screws, and they would have put on hurricane straps and all them sitting there. So that was just a tip of the iceberg because I have more to show you, right? You cannot, as an opposition, Mark Golding, be talking about transparency and you supposed to be the government in waiting. You're talking about transparency and trying to set yourself apart from the present government. And you want transparency, and you want this, and you want that, and then you go collect money for help poor people. And I'll know you can't tell me that you spend $1 anywhere with any poor person. You know, to say something wrong. You don't say you're not right. You don't say that something is wrong. Well, you can't say something wrong with you. Yes. You wouldn't say that something wrong with you. But let me tell you, something is definitely wrong with you. You clearly had no interest whatsoever in whether the relief is being supplied in a non-partisan way. You clearly had no interest in how the relief supplied was being distributed. What you want to do is to slow up the process. You want the government to spend time counting everything that come in, registering everything that come in to slow it up. We not saying I mean no, we not good, you know, because you're English man, right? You wanted the whole process to fail. So now come out talking about transparency. You don't mean it. Now that is not to say that transparency is not required. And it is not to say that we mustn't keep account. We must keep account of everything that comes in, right? And we must determine the need, where need what, and send it there. But you were not genuine when you were asking for it. No, it was one of you and Bunting's Machiavellian master stroke. This was all about delay, delay tactics. Everything we do is political. Everything we do is to see how we can benefit in some way from it, politically, right? You come out with a damn hypocritical self talking about transparency and all of something there. Where is the money we not get from the people them? Something is wrong. And the website is still up. Somebody needs to tell him to take it down. Because as long as that website is up and people see it, they're going to think that they should keep donating. And they're not doing a damn thing for people. If they were, they would at least tell us that. They need to take down the website. Where is the Integrity Commission? They were there, so them go and watch government. Who watching them? Which government entity is responsible for monitoring donations coming in? Monitoring those who are collecting donations. Which government agency does that? I'm sure there must be one. They need to call them. You don't have to make a big noise about it. Put out in the newspaper, make everybody know where to do. Just call them. Call Mr. Fitz Jackson and ask him about the money what them get. And they must account for it. And if them dare tell you that you going to need to wait until them prepare them audited, them financial statements, if them dare tell you that you are going to have to wait until them prepare them financial statements and the auditors prepare them report, right? Tell them take down the website. You must have power to do so because something ain't right.
Yes, unless there's more questions regarding this matter, I did make a promise to my listeners that I would ask this the next time I had an opportunity, so I bring it here. We're still in the recovery phase from Hurricane Melissa. The People's National Party has courted donations from individuals on behalf of that effort. Is it the intention of the opposition to make available to the public what has been collected in terms of the quantum and what that sum has been used for in the spirit of accountability?
Yes, we have put in place a structure. We created a new structure after Melissa with a national disaster risk management committee within the party. There's a chairman who is Fitz Jackson. There's a projects director who is the treasurer of the party, Senator Keisha Anderson. And part of their mandate is to ensure that there's full accountability and accounting for any relief that is administered through the party.
When I told you that something wrong with you, you think it's joke, don't it? Hmm? We have a disaster and you, opposition who the people rejected on September 3, rejected you. And you going to set up a National Disaster Risk Committee. Your government? National Disaster Risk Committee with a chairman and a projects director. And their mandate was to do what?
And part of their mandate is to ensure that there's full accountability and accounting for any relief that is administered through the party.
You know, when you're employing somebody and you ask for a recommendation and they present you with a recommendation, you read the recommendation glowing, but what you must do is pay close attention to what the former employer did not say. You will not find too many recommendations. As a matter of fact, you'll find no recommendation that is not glowing. But you must check and see what is missing. So if them tell you that the person is a hard-working person and them go the extra mile and them get along well with them colleagues, and hear them mention about honesty, watch out. Watch out. You follow me? Now, this is what Mark Goling said when he was asked the question. He spoke about them setting up this national, a government, National Disaster Risk Committee, as if they are the government. So this thing that they set up was intended to rival the government's portal and what the government was doing. So the government is there doing what they're doing, and they wanted the relief money to come to them. They were out there bad-mouthing the government, bad-mouthing them that them slow, and that them, it was a bit slow, and that there's no transparency, and there must, accountability, and there's no accountability, and them damn well know how the system works. And then them turn around and set up the portal and tell people to send it to them. Right? Send the relief to them. National Disaster Risk Committee with a chairman, Fitz Jackson. Adomi, you want to hear anything from Fitz Jackson? No, muzzled, apparently. Projects Director Keisha Anderson. Big riser, And he said this. What is their mandate? And part of their mandate is to ensure that there is full accountability and accounting for any relief that is administered through the party. What is missing? You get it? Yes, something is missing. And you know what that is? You guess? Put it in the comment section. Let me see if you get it before me. Yes. The word transparency is what is missing. So their mandate is to ensure full accountability and accounting, but not transparency. So this was never intended to come to our eyesight, what they plan on doing. And any damn fool comrade that think them supporting them party where they love, and we are warning and telling us the PNP is not the PNP. Well, we no love and use to. These are some capitalists that capture the party. You heard what the man said. The man is a lawyer and very specific with his language, right? Part of their mandate is to ensure there is full accountability and accounting for any relief that they administer or that is administered through the party. No mention of transparency. So it was never their intention to come and tell us how much them collect, when them collect it. Does it sound to you like this was an honest venture? How can you talk about your collecting relief and nobody's supposed to know where you collect? How can you be talking about your collecting relief and it's a secret? Nobody knows where you get because you're not transparent and you have no intention to tell anybody where you send it to. And because you're a big organization with 403,000 people vote for you, think the government entities are afraid for you, and you'll be able to get away with it. What wanna do with the money we wanna get? This is looking highly suspicious. Highly suspicious. You gave them the mandate to be accountable and make sure them account for the relief that them get. Yes, that is for your purpose. And part of the relief is money. But they must not be transparent with it. So what you did was to tell Fitz Jackson, the chairman, shut your blasted mouth about what it is that you receive. His duty is to account for what he gets. What happened to it after that? You never said. Only to receive, but you never said how it was to be distributed. This is beginning to sound like a damn scam. It is beginning to sound like a scam. And if you had heard anybody, you're a lawyer, and you had heard anybody set up a business or an organization to collect relief for people and talk about them going account, but they're not going to be transparent, what you would have said about them? You suspect that it's a damn scam? If you had heard that an entity had set up bank account claiming that they're going to collect items and money to distribute to people, and them said I'm going to account for it, but they don't want to be transparent about it, would you not suspect that that is a scam and come talk about it? Worse if it was government. You're running a scam? Somebody needs to go in and make them account for what it is that they receive. Why is it that the chairperson can't come tell me what you receive? You muzzle him. Him can't do it. So it's only you and Nikisha Burchell must talk on the topic. And him have to shut him damn mouth. I wonder why him allow you to call him name. Why him not resign? If he sees that he's being put in charge of something that does not require transparency, he must know that that would damage the image of the party when people start asking, why did he take the job? And if he cannot come out and say anything about what it is that he has collected, why him stay there? Who is the body? Which body in Jamaica that is responsible for monitoring these relief items? Listen to what it says here. In Jamaica, the monitoring of entities receiving donations for hurricane victims, particularly in response to disasters like Hurricane Melissa in 2025, is primarily managed by the Office of the Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, which operates under the Government of Jamaica. In Jamaica, the monitoring of entities receiving donations for hurricane victims is ODPEM. Guess where ODPEM is located? In the Prime Minister's office. Maybe them see this as an opportunity, because if ODPEM come to audit them just cry foul. Well, you don't have to worry about it. Let ODPEM send to all of them that receiving donations, and they would be included, to send in the report as to what it is that they have received and what it is that they have expended and what it is they have in stock. Because what may be happening is that a lot of people may be scammed. Right? So, ODPEM needs to do its work. Right? By now, one segment of the relief effort has passed. The urgency for food and water. Now they're in the rebuilding process. Now you can go and get statements from all of those entities that were participating in the first part. Have you done so yet? And if you have not yet done so, why not? So we have so far established that ODPEM is the oversight body that is supposed to be ensuring that people of foreign and locally are not scammed by scammers claiming that them collecting items on behalf of people, right? For all we know, them sell them or then gone somewhere else. It says here is a breakdown of the oversight mechanism. So ODPEM is the main one, right? So you have the official governmental oversight, which is ODPEM. It is the central body for coordinating disaster relief and managing the Support Jamaica Fund. They are tasked with ensuring transparency in the receipt and distribution of donations. And there is no transparency going on with them risers. And they would have heard the Englishman talking about you not when know what it is that we receive until we do audited statements. We don't know when that is. The next oversight mechanism it says here, logistical control. The Jamaica Defense Force, in conjunction with ODPEM, manages all stores and materials to ensure high level accountability for supplies. So when it comes to the storage of the materials and the food and the water, the JDF is the one that manages those stores. So when they hear them talk about accountability for these things, they know damn well it was a JDF that was managing the stores, and therefore the question of accountability was solved. The next one that says there's a financial and regulatory monitoring for charities. Well, them not charities, but we will read it all the same. It says financial and regulatory monitoring charities authority. It says registered charities are monitored by the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies. Next, in terms of monitoring mechanisms, is the Auditor General's Department. She does the auditing. The Auditor General's Department performs real-time audits on the Hurricane Melissa Relief Initiative to assess transparency with a focus on whether internal controls are adequate to prevent fraud, waste, and abuse of public resources. Who the hell is watching Mark Golding and him crew, what them doing at PNP headquarters? Who watching them? The next monitoring group is the digital and cyber security monitoring, right? So they do website monitoring too. The Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team actively monitors for fraudulent websites designed to divert donations, urging the public to use only official government channels. They need to go and look and see what that Englishman and him crew doing at PNP headquarters. Tell a damn nonsense, but we must sit down and wait. Them can't tell we say them get $2 in the bank account. We must wait until them do up them financial statements and the auditor do them thing. That's another delay, no, because the auditor will take 3 months or so to present their report. Why? They can't tell us that they got 10,000 or 15,000 US and so much Jamaican, and then later on tell us that them bought this, that, and the other with it. That's all they need to do, and where them send it to. They can't do that. They can't tell me that. Something is wrong, and all of these agencies are failing. Well, the Auditor General, the PNP don't come under the Auditor General's purview, but they certainly come under the Integrity Commission's purview. Then there's assessment and verification. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security handles damage assessment and verifies beneficiaries to ensure that relief supplies are directed to those in need. But the PNP decides that they're going to set up for them one. They call National Disaster Risk Committee, right? Where them all get money from? To go do all them their assessment. And they want I want a JDF helicopter to go get up and down the place. We have a government that people elected. Them go do them own quasi government thing them do on the side. And when we are asked them what they do with the money, them a tell we say they not tell we. And our business. Eh? No man. And the whole of the government entity, you're afraid of them? You're afraid of the post? If you're not afraid, you know, go on a damn yard and leave the job to people with courage and make them get the work done.
And part of their mandate is to ensure that there's full accountability and accounting for any relief that is administered through the party. So those reports will be prepared and will be made available in the appropriate channels. What I would say is that what we have heard is that there have been many billions of dollars of emergency procurement by the government. Emergency procurement means that there is no proper tendering and you don't know whether you're getting value for money.
The country suffered a Category 6 hurricane, left everything flat. Over 40 people dead. 156,000 buildings lost their roofs. 60,000 families affected. And this cold, unfeeling wretch is talking about value for money. This man is not human. Eh? You're talking about value for money? You couldn't find something else to talk about. For example, you couldn't ask the question whether or not the money, the money is that the billions of dollars that the government you say receive, whether or not it reaching the people in a timely fashion. That would have been a better argument. But not you. Not you. Well, our people upon the continent, used to say of the Greeks that they were people without soul. If ever this was a soulless creature, I don't know what is.
Now, I'm not saying that the circumstances didn't warrant using that procurement methodology. What I am saying is that the accountability for those resources becomes all the more critical.
A cold, unfeeling wretch.
And we don't know what mechanism the government is going to provide to assure the public that those resources have received value for money.
Can you imagine if you were stupid enough to put this soulless imbecile in a Jamaica house? What would have happened to poor people now? All he's concerned about is money, money, money. And just like how they were in the parliament to ask about money, money, money. And when the money wasn't forthcoming, they wrong to set up them portal. And now they can't give account for the money they receive. Can't give account for it. That's a problem. Because they would have been very happy to show off. Clearly, they weren't prepared. Either their accounting system was not established or they lost control of the supply of the goods and everything is a damn mess and they need the time to sort it out. That's obviously what happened. Don't know the hell what they're doing. But things say them a government. So them a perform the role of a government. That is not government. In other words, he wanted to be Prime Minister of Jamaica, never get it. So we have a government in place and him set up another government outside. Them need for go in and investigate and see what go on. They need to go in and investigate and make believe that is gun and ammunition them have a party headquarters and go in they go find out what happened. Because this can affect us. I am sure the people who donated sit down and listen to him on Thursday must be wondering to themselves what's going on here. But we did warn them and tell them, don't give them nothing. So whatever happened to them, a fool no fault.
In the meantime, we urge the government to be transparent and candid and to tell the nation what they've done with the millions they've raised in the name of Jamaica to build back constituencies, such as South St. James. We're still waiting to get some of that.
Well, you asked for it. So let us go and check to see if the government was behaving like you, lacking in transparency, keeping your donations that you received a secret. Let us go and check to see how the government of Jamaica has been handling our affairs.
out as many people as you can.
No water. No water.
So we're going to work out.
Now water to drink, you know, water to feed and such.
All right. I thank you to the JDF for assisting us in the delivery of the packages to the most vulnerable. Today again, I'm standing beside us, JDF, the JCF, to deliver to the individuals, the vulnerable families in White House, in Westmoreland and beyond, also in St. Elizabeth. There's much more to do. Trelawney, Hanover, St. James, Manchester, St. Anne, several parishes and communities that have been impacted.
Thanks for the Ministry of Labour and the ODP and everybody. The food we are dealing with enough. Can't buy shop, lock up, mash up everything.
We have not forgotten you. We have a strategy to make sure that we reach each and every household across Jamaica. And we are one team, one family, one Jamaica, working for you.
That is kept. ODPEM is the entity of government that receives all material donations to the government. ODPEM is also the entity that manages individual private donations come to their account. So they manage both the cash donations and the in-kind material donations. ODPEM itself does not physically keep all the donated materials. That is kept mostly between the JDF and the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, most with the JDF. And the JDF further will pre-position those materials in various warehouses or forward operating bases like these, which forms part of what they call the hub and spoke strategy. The JDF is essentially in partnership, working in conjunction with ODPEM, manages all the stores, all the materials. So that means that there is a very high level of control of what is done. No politician, no member of the public can just walk in and say, I want this or I can't. That's not how it works. There are strong layers of accountability. This is managed to the highest level of probity, accountability, and standards.
So there you go. What are you complaining about, sir? You are the one that is not transparent, and we don't even know how well you're accounting because we don't know what is going on with what you received. And you must have gotten something. I know the comrades them would have given you something to take shame out of your eye. So the government told us how much them receive, right? We saw the goods being distributed, and we see the soldiers coming from elsewhere and the JDF and them helping people. Mind you, it's only 500 roofs. The people going to have to help themselves when they get a little much as they can. Enough for you. Folks, you want to know now how the money part go, right? Yes. So, like we talk about the money, we're going to talk about the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Fund. That was for $91.9 million. They did a calculation at 14.8 billion Jamaican dollars, which is at a rate of $161.04. We're going to convert at that rate. Then the World Bank Catastrophe Bond, I think the government had invested in that or issued that. That's 150 million US dollars. That works out to 24.1 billion Jamaican dollars. The government had a contingency fund of 37 million US dollars, and that worked out to $5.958 billion. Then we got donations of $1.68 million, and that worked out to 270.554 million. And we got 635 million Jamaican dollars. The Cayman Islands donated $1 million US dollars, and that calculated to 161 million Jamaican. So when you add up the 14.8 billion to the 24.1 billion to the 5.958 billion to the 635 million, the 270.554 million, and $161 million, the total that the government has at its disposal. Not all of it, no, we're not counting the 6.7 billion yet. So in terms of the insurance and the bond and the donations, the total the government has is $45.9 billion. Now you see that 6.7 billion, that the one that may not look upon, because that the one they not have to spend have to spend very carefully. So that one we put one side. But the one that I'm sure I'm going to be spending is the $45.9 billion. Now, already the government has issued or proposes to issue $10 billion for roof repairs. And that they said was initial. So it's not the whole like that. They just give it that. And I suppose they will, give another tranche and so on. So there will be 35.9 billion left. Now, we don't know how much of this, because remember the place where we go anyway, they're clear, practically clear. So they would have paid to remove those debris. As to whether they paid out of this money or out of the consolidated fund, we don't know. So that's it. So the government is clear about what it is that they receive. Over to you now, Englishman. You tell us now what you receive. And ODPEM, you have a duty to ensure that you oversight all of these donations coming in for everybody. No skip over nobody because you're afraid of them. Right? Send a note to them or a letter asking them to declare, everybody, to declare what they receive, right? And they must show you the accounts. Yes, and just write down on a piece of paper what they receive. They must show you evidence. Right? Because you are the oversight body. Everybody will look upon you. You supposed to look upon everybody. That's how the system's supposed to work. So that the thief them, if they intend to thief, then go somewhere else. Yes. Folks, I think I've said enough. I want to thank you for joining me today, for sharing, liking, and subscribing. And I hope you give the video a thumbs up. Me notice that we a drop off a farm. Me usually get me 1,000 thumbs up. Me don't know what go on. Me look like me for spruce up the thing a little more. But anyway, me thank you all the same. You have been very nice, good, and faithful to me, and I appreciate it. So until next time, take very good care of yourselves and walk good.